As a great grandparent, I know it's a little risky to talk about individual kids, but I said something about Angela, so now I want to say something about Angela's brother, David Michael. What a pistol. There, I can almost hear my grandmother from the grave saying, yeah, he's related to that Dean Riggs. I don't know just all I did as a kid, but she thought I was a pistol. Well, like his sister, David was a preemie. But we're old hands at this by the time David's born. Didn't get near scared, didn't make any wild trip. Went to St. pretty early on, but didn't make that quick trip. And he got along quite well. And today, for his age, he is a buster. Both those kids are so healthy, you never know that they got kind of a quick start. Well, one time when he was about 4, as I recall, I had a little trouble keeping track of time. But all I know is that he wasn't very old, and we were at a reunion at Pensions. And everybody was, we'd had the evening meal, it was dark, and everybody was inside. Everybody's visiting away, and all of a sudden it gets very quiet because, hey, what the heck are those kids talking about? And we hear little Angela saying, you're too little. You'll get into trouble. You can't do that. If you do, you're going to get, well, you have to have a license if you do it. And if you don't have a license, they might put you in jail, or they just, no older than you kids are, they just might spank you. You can't do it. Well, you were all wondering, what in the heck is it that these kids are planning to do? That this little daughter of a policeman is saying, you're going to get in trouble, you can't do it, you can't do it. They were going to go bear hunting. That cabin of Pensions was halfway between Creede, Colorado, and I can't think of the name of the place up above right now, but it was a really nice place, Lake City, Colorado. It really was, in the mountains, great fishing and so on. Well, there was another time, the Pensions just, they mean it when they say we're, the Riggs family is their family. They had us up there again, and David has his own little fishing pole. And his dad is waiting his turn to be in the boat, go out and catch those big old trout. He's got his 2 kids, and he's over on the big rock, setting them up to fish. And near that big rock's where we catch a lot of fish in the boat. So he gets little David in and goes around the corner just a little bit, put Angela in. David said, Dad, I got one. And, you know, he's thinking he's got a little fish. He'll just finish getting his big sister in the water, and sure enough, he goes around the corner, and that little guy had about an 18-inch trout. And had it right up to the bank, trying to get it clear on out, and they did get it on out. The boy's a fisherman. The boy's a fisherman, no doubt about it. Well, another fish story. Well, maybe it's a boating story. Jason bought a little boat, not a big boat at all, but big enough that he had both of these kids, Angela and David, and himself in the boat on a small lake in Kansas, out in the country where his mother had grown up. And Wendy, Mama, Grandma Donna and I were standing over on the bank watching, and we hear Jason tell David, don't get so far up there on the front of the boat. You could fall in. It wasn't 5 minutes, splash. We're all on the alert, and I'm looking out there thinking, Lord, no more than I swim, and I don't know how deep it is. Do I make a dash out there? What do I do? And as I'm deciding what to do, look up at that cool, calm policeman. He got up. That little boat, he could easily have tipped it clear over had he panicked like I probably would have. He got up very quietly, kept everything in balance, moved up to the front. It wasn't far, you know, maybe 10 feet, maybe 12. In the meantime, the little guy comes up. He had a life jacket on. Donna had bought life jackets before the kids came up to Creede to do all that fishing. We hear David come up. Oh, little boy, he's just spitting water, and Dad. Jason calmly says, David swam towards the boat, gets over there, plucks him up. It's all over in less than a minute. Cool and Luke, that Dad. And the little boy learned lots of lessons there. You know, I bet he listens just a little closer to what Dad says now. Well, one time, I love tomatoes. A neighbor right behind Wendy and Jason's house, the grandpa came in regularly on weekends and brought his cucumbers and squash and tomatoes. Oh man, such good tomatoes. Every weekend I'd go over and buy quite a few. Well, this particular weekend, David went over with me to buy tomatoes. And on the way back, I remembered later that he did say something to me that I ignored. But we got back in the house, and I'm sitting there on the couch, and his dad gets off duty and comes home in uniform, and David goes over and gets his dad's handcuffs. He comes over and said, "Put your hands out." Well, okay, we're going to play games. I put my hands out. Hey, that little stinker, he put the cuffs on me and he squeezed them down. They hurt. I said, "Hey, that hurts. Get them off of me." He said, "Well, I have to get the key from Dad." Of course, Dad got right over there and got me loose. Well, back home during the week, Donna says, "You know, those kids are police officers' children. I'll bet David had a reason for arresting you. Why do you think he arrested you?" "I don't know." "Why don't you ask him next weekend?" So next weekend I say, "Hey, David, why did you arrest me last week?" "For eating tomatoes without washing them. They can make you sick." But all my life I just went out in the yard, out in the field, garden, pluck a tomato. Sometimes I even carried a little salt with me. I didn't see any reason not to eat the tomatoes when I was ready to eat them. But you know what? I didn't eat any more of them when that kid was looking unless I washed them. Arrested, that's what I was. He's quite a boy. He is quite a boy. Christmas, a year ago I think, maybe 2 years now, he got a toy. It was some sort of a thing that when you flipped it, it wound it up, and it would just take off. So he was getting a pretty good run with it, and I said, "Let me do it." And I did it, and my Lord, it took out. It went across the street, went across the neighbor's yard, and hit against the house. Whoa! I was bragging on that toy, and David said it didn't do at all what it's supposed to do. In the commercial, it jumps over a truck. Kids observe it. You got to do lots of things. Love you guys. All love you. Bye-bye.